It's another edition of Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 right here in the city of Ibadan. Yes, conversation is about us from this end, dishing out stories making the rounds across the country and beyond the shores of the country to you out there, and we giving our own opinions, headlines and views about these stories, these headlines. And of course, it is our own opinion, not the corporate views of the Broadcasting Corporation of your state. And of course, from the newspapers, this morning we have the Tribune and the Nation here. And of course, yes, you also having the opportunity of giving your own views and opinions known through the phone lines when the time comes. And of course, we are networking on Okeogun 96.3 FM and Agility 92.1 FM. And you can also check us up on Facebook. You will meet us there. And also live streaming Oluyole 98.5 FM. Conversation is the program. Bimbo Akombi is my name. And yes, of course, like I said, stories making the rounds across the country. And I'm sure Tola will give us some details of what is really happening in Osun State, the Osun State elections that is really just battling the minds of the people. Adeleke is demanding, yes, that some Osun State senators should be arrested. He's accusing, they accused him of calling for the killing of Accord members, says it's a matter of national security. I said kill Accord with votes, not violence. That is according to Fadaunsi, who explained. And the police to deploy over 10,000 personnel. Well, Tola, you can see that headline there.
Kill Accord.
And then it was misconstrued for another statement.
Well, it should have added with votes.
With votes.
So, since they didn't put anything at the back, so it's maybe natural to assume that it was referring to Accord members. They helped them to put members at the back. Kill Accord, then they helped them to put members at the back. Since he did not put kill with votes, but he has explained himself, and I think the statement is either hanging and vague if you look at it. Yes. Kill Accord, well, it's hanging. Accord. And Accord is not a person, Accord is a political party.
Yes.
So, kill Accord with votes, not violence. Father says, please. The police have deployed over 10,000 personnel.
So, at that time, senator's arrest, the Adeleke said that he demanded for. I want you to go through.
What are they going to arrest him for? He's arrested for talking.
Is it for just that kill Accord, or what?
Well, Governor Adeleke believed that he meant kill Accord members. And if indeed that was what he meant, what Governor Adeleke is insinuating, so how many Accord members is he? Would they have to kill? To get the elections in their favor? So we should also be looking at that as well. So he couldn't have meant kill Accord members. He couldn't. Yes. That could be what he meant. Even if you were able to kill Accord members, that would be unreasonable. Unless you want to kill all the people that are going to be voting for Accord, you can identify them and then you kill all of them.
Yes.
But Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has called for the immediate arrest and prosecution of the senator representing Osun East District, Francis Fadaunsi, over a viral video in which the senator allegedly called for the killing of Accord party members and their family members. Well, I didn't see the video, Bimbo, so don't let me rush to conclusion that what Fadaunsi said or did not say. And Adeleke made the call on Tuesday during an emergency press briefing in Osogbo, where he also raised concerns over alleged security operations targeting leaders and members of the Accord party ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Speaking in a viral video in Ilesha in Yoruba language, Fadaun said, Titi di ojo ibo, let me look at this very well. Titi di ojo ibo, tí a bá rí Accord kankan ní Ilesha pípa ni o. Literally meaning, till the day of the election, if you see any Accord Party member in Ilesha, they should be killed. If indeed that is what he said,
that means yes,
that means he was calling for the killing.
I do not blame Governor Adeleke.
However, the governor also alleged that a police signal had been issued directing the arrest of Accord Party leaders across the state, with instructions that those arrested should be taken to Abuja and held there until after the elections. Well, as the governor, I'm sure he would have security reports on his desk. Adeleke said he had spoken with the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, over the alleged directive and all the police authorities to investigate the matter. I have spoken to the Inspector General of Police about the reported directive to arrest Accord Party leaders, but I'm appealing to him that this development, if true, is legal and presents Nigeria as a lawless country. He said, well, the statement, the newspaper here is quoting him categorically what Senator Fadonsi said in the viral video. And well, if indeed this is what he said, I think that statement is most irresponsible.
Yes.
And inciting, and I think rather unbecoming of a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But actually, did you see what he was said to have said? He was quoted to have said.
I didn't see, but the newspaper is quoting him here.
The newspaper is quoting him.
This is not Senator Adeleke quoting him now. It's the newspaper now. The reporters that are quoting what he said in the viral video.
But the viral video, are we sure that it is not all those news that some
AI?
people don't, AI and some bloggers go and put on?
No, it doesn't. Senator Fadonsi is not saying that he did not go on social media to say anything. He didn't say that he didn't make the viral video. What the thing is trying to say is that that's not what he meant. That he said kill the Accord Party, and that's what he meant. So he hasn't said it's AI or anything.
But if you now relate it to how we said it in Yoruba,
títí di ọjọ́ ìbò tí a bá rí accord kankan ní Iléṣà pípa ni o.
So what does that translate to?
Well, lawyers can be very smart about these things. Well, if I'm a lawyer, well, I'm not a lawyer, but then if I'm a lawyer, what I could say in court is that tí a bá rí accord kankan, that is tí a bá rí Accord Party kankan ní Iléṣà, ká fi ìbò pa Accord Party. I could argue that was what my client meant.
Yes,
which is possible. What Senator Fadonsi is trying to say here.
But the way he laid it on the table could be very, serious. Yes.
Well, it's a matter of semantics, Bimbo. The talking drum, for instance, it depends on how you choose to interpret what the talking drum is saying. Quickly, let me just take a little time with this analogy. A man who was traveling, and he was traveling to Osun State, so he was to pass through in the olden days. He was to pass through Ladupon on his way to somewhere in Iwo. So, and the gatekeeper of Ladupon would not allow him to pass, telling him that okay, what is your mission and what are you going to? So
talking about borders here.
Talking about borders. So he now told them at a point he got annoyed. So he now took his talking drum. He was a drummer. He now took his talking drum. And the words he said, "Ewenu imado, ewenu ishin, ewenu onibode Lalupon." He was insulting the man, comparing his mouth to that of an ape. Of a gorilla. So the man grabbed his drum and tore the drum into pieces. And then when people intervened, they said, Ombuni. Said he was insulting him and said what happened. Then the drummer now changed the narrative. He said what he actually meant was that he said the gatekeeper misinterpreted him. That what he actually meant was that what he was saying with the drum was that mo jẹun Ìbàdàn, mo jẹun Ìwó, mo jẹun oníbodè Lálùpọ̀n. That is, I got well fed by the Ibadans and by the Iwos, and the onibode of Lálùpọ̀n, the gatekeeper, was also kind enough to feed me. So that's what I'm saying here. That it depends
on
how you choose to interpret. Senator Fada is saying that what he meant was that F.E. Bopa won accord. F.E. Bopa accord party to buy the Ojo Saturday.
But like I said, you know how he laid it on the table was what went wrong. That Governor Adeleke was demanding for his release, his arrest rather.
Bro, let's call it spade a spade. The man was being mischievous. Senator Fada was being mischievous. He was speaking out of emotions. I believe he's not a murderer. He's not a killer. I don't believe he meant that actually killer called killers, but maybe his emotions got the better of him, and he said something that he shouldn't have said, and he should have taken it down before Governor Adeleke reacted.
And that's now he came back to his senses, and he was saying that he did not
trying to change the narrative.
The narrative, yes.
Telling the anybody that what he meant to say with the talking drum was quite different.
Yes, we have other political stories. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, no democracy in Africa, but forced liberal democracy, says Obasanjo. Well, if we are talking about forced liberal democracy, under his watch, I think Baba is also culpable.
Yes.
Of that forced liberal democracy. Baba took some decisions without minding who sucks is God, and without caring what people thought of those decisions. But like we always see on this platform, Nigeria is a country where the best is always in its past. Comparing Baba's time with now, well, I don't know. I don't think many Nigerians would want to say that these times are better. Former Nigerian President Oluyole on Tuesday declared that there is no democracy in Africa but borrowed and forced liberal democracy that has caged Africans. Obasanjo made the declaration in his message at the 2025 edition of the Goodluck Jonathan GEJ Round Foundation Annual Democracy Dialogue with the theme Beyond Elections. Beyond elections. Can political parties and the judiciary save African democracy? Held at the Ahmadu Bello International Conference Center, ICC, Bauchi. The former president, who was chairman of the dialogue, said that former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, you have the foundation that promotes peace and prosperity. This annual conference, generally titled Democracy Dialogue, but this year a theme on which we are to deliberate is Beyond Election, and political parties and the judiciary save African democracy. That is Andy. He said, what are we talking about? Is there African democracy? Let us not deceive ourselves. There is nothing like African democracy. We were given Western liberal democracy by our colonial masters. I will come to that as I go along. And he said, before I got a copy of the printed program last night, and before having a short encounter with Anne Iyomu, the executive director of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, I was a little bit confused, but my 2 or 3 minutes exchange with Anne substantially reduced the magnitude of my confusion. Well, Baba went on and on, but what he's saying in short is that if I get him right, Africa needs to evolve its own peculiar kind of democracy to suit the peculiarities of the African situation, our cultural differences, our thought patterns, and the way we perceive things as a people, as black people. There was a time he said that democracy already existed in Africa long before the whites came, and that the kind of democracy that thrived even under the African monarchies, he said we should borrow something from that. The democracy of Odo. Well, aside that, there was an absolute ruler, the king, the emperor, the empire. There were checks and balances. There was a democracy. And he's not suggesting that anyone should perpetuate himself in power. But then he's saying that we can borrow something from those democracies that we will be able to adjust to and not continue to deceive ourselves with the kind of liberal democracy. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Western democracies as it is. Yes, I agree with Baba that we could evolve something peculiar to us as Africans if we can all agree upon that. But then, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the Western democracies. It's the way we practice it, it's the way we have twisted it. Even the 1999 Constitution that everyone seems to be commending, and we have amendments here and there. If we practice that Constitution true, and then everybody would be the better for it. No one would have reason to complain. It's about us in the long run. Yes, I agree with some of Baba's points, but in the long run, in the overall, I think it's all about us. and the way we do things and the way we perceive things, we need a rebranding, both the leadership and the led, a rebranding of our minds and our thought patterns.
The question is here, Tola. The question is, are African leaders ready to evolve a new, pattern of democracy, like you said, you have asked? Are they ready? Because most African leaders prefer the sit-tight syndrome. Yes, sit-tight syndrome.
And the system allows them to do that.
To do that, yes. So I don't know when and how they will evolve a new, peculiar kind of democracy that will be, a very good pattern that will be beneficial to all. And well, you remember, even Baba that is talking now, Baba wanted to, try to, amend the constitution to bring up a third time in office for the president. Yes, during his term. Now he's out of office. He's now saying that Nigerians, leaders, politicians should evolve a new kind of peculiar democracy.
I think Baba thoroughly enjoyed that system while he was in power. It was something they thoroughly enjoyed. Baba wielded almost absolute powers, and well, that democracy, that kind of thing that allowed Baba, anytime he falls out with any governor, there's this way he will send the EFCC and to hound them. The lawmakers, not the governor, because the governor has immunity. So when they find filth on the bomb of the lawmakers, so the lawmakers will be threatened that you have to get rid of this governor, otherwise I will have your own head. You give me the head of your governor. Otherwise I will have yours. That was Baba's system that time, and that kind of democracy is talking about allowed him to do it. The Western democracy the real Western democracy is talking about that we twisted. Let's have this quick commercial break and we'll be back.
The Oyo State government, under the leadership of Governor Seyi Makinde, has inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry into the abduction of students and teachers in Esiele and Yawota communities of Orire local government area. The commission is part of the governor's commitment to thoroughly investigate the incident, establish the facts, and make recommendations that will help prevent a recurrence. Members of the public, especially victims, witnesses, and anyone with relevant information are invited to submit memoranda to assist the commission in carrying out its assignments. The memoranda should be addressed to the Secretary, Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the abduction of students and teachers in Esiele and Yawota communities of Orire local government area of Oyo State. Submissions can also be made physically at the conference room, Office of the Head of Service, Secretariat, Agodi Ibadan, or via mail at oysjceorireabduction@gmail.com. Be rest assured that all details will be treated with utmost confidentiality. All memoranda must be submitted on or before Friday, August 14th, 2026. Announcer, Barrister Mrs. Olamide Sandra Tella, Secretary, Judicial Commission of Inquiry.
Yes, we are back, and it's still conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Now, still talking President Obasanjo's comments here. Former President Jonathan, yes, he co-chaired the dialogue that President Obasanjo was making some comments yesterday, and he called for a national debate on the restructuring of governance architecture, saying that the concentration of powers in the presidency had weakened democracy and accountability. Let me quote him here now. Probably we need to go back to the pre-independence and early independence days of having a parliamentary system where powers are shared. In Nigeria today, one person has almost all the powers. We need to have more conversations on the structure of leadership in our governance and what model will best suit our unique circumstances. Well, I don't think that can work again in Nigeria.
Well, TUC, that's Trade Union Congress, demands $1,000 to dollar exchange rate, says stronger naira will cut food prices. isn't that still too much? Bimbo? How would that force down food prices? 1,000 naira to $1. If I get what they are saying, that's still a lot, Bimbo.
Yes.
I don't think that will make.
We have talked about the axis of maybe 600 to 700 naira to $1.
And it looks as if we have made it. We have come to a foregone conclusion that the dollar can never really come at par or almost at par with the naira again. We have almost known that is not going to happen. Well, I guess the Bretton Woods institutions, the Americans especially, are not going to let that happen. And
before you go on, you remember this? Well, it was during the Abacha regime, military regime, which we don't pray for again. You remember when former late head of state, Sonny Abacha, pegged the naira and dollar 22 naira to $1. 22 naira to $1. He pegged it. I don't know how he did it.
And let's give it to the man. He actually stood up to these people.
Yes.
He actually stood up to the Bretton Woods institutions.
Yes.
He hardly listened to them.
Yes.
And
you remember when he was when the nation was expelled from the Commonwealth, then he just abandoned the Commonwealth and just faced the Asian countries.
They looked to other countries, India especially.
India, Pakistan.
That's when our military, that's when we started seeing Tata trucks.
Tata trucks, yes.
From India,
yes.
in our military, and other products, military hardware and police equipment from Pakistan.
Yes.
And
India, and
well, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, has urged the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to take decisive measures to strengthen the naira to between 900 and 1,000 to the US dollar. Oh, they call that strengthening. Arguing that a stronger currency will translate into lower food and commodity prices and provide relief to Nigerian workers. TUC President General Comrade Festus Osifo made the demand in Abuja on Tuesday while addressing journalists on the state of the Nigerian economy, insecurity, food prices, and other issues affecting workers and the population. Osifo said although the naira had appreciated from about 1,700 naira to 1,800 naira to the dollar in early 2024 to around 1,380 naira currently, the currency remains undervalued and has not yet delivered corresponding relief to Nigerians at the microeconomic level.
Well,
and they're talking about the official exchange rate now. It won't be that 1,380 on the black market.
Yes, of course. Now, talking about strike again now.
ASU again.
ASU, then the aviation industry.
The aviation industry.
Yes. The strike that they have embarked upon have crippled air travels, and airlines lose multi-million naira gains. Thousands of travelers were stranded across the country's major airports yesterday as aviation workers embarked on a strike. The industrial action, according to them, is over alleged anti-union practices, casualization of workers, and withholding of statutory funds, including the 5% ticket sales charge by domestic airlines. The strike, ordered by the National Union of Air Transport Employees, NUATE, in collaboration with the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, ATSAN, and the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, NAPE, led to suspension, cancellation, and rescheduling of flights by airlines. The aviation unions were backed by the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC. Well, I can see pictures of stranded passengers at the Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 at the Lagos International Lagos Airport. Domestic airport. Yes, you can see their pictures sitting down with their baggages and luggages and all those.
Well, I don't know which branches or chapters of the aviation unions are embarking on this strike, and whether they are the ones that will directly affect flight operations. But whichever way, I guess the authorities will be listening to them soon enough,
Yes.
because
most of them,
these big people, the senators, the reps members,
Yes.
the big people, I mean the politicians,
yes,
many of them
they traveled by air.
they are, we're talking about them, their domestic movements within the country.
Yes.
They are afraid of the roads, Bimbo,
Yes.
because for them the roads are death traps.
Yes.
Not just from the fact that the roads are bad, which they repeatedly acknowledge, but for the fact that the bandits and the terrorists, their own creation,
And even
are
accidents.
also on the roads.
And even accidents.
That's what I'm saying, that they are the bad roads. So they prefer to be up there in the sky where they believe that they are safe. And I always recall this very statement that they ought to have found very embarrassing when they said it. Talking about the senators now, the last time vehicles worth billions of naira was procured for them as part of their largesse, what they are entitled to as parks of office. They get that every 4 years, Bimbo. So the last time they got it, I think running into billions of naira now, and Nigerians were criticizing them and asking that, okay, why don't they even patronize the homemade vehicle manufacturers? I mean, the local vehicle manufacturers. Their response was that the roads in their communities are bad. They shamelessly said that to Nigerians, that the roads in their communities are bad, so they need those expensive vehicles. They need those exotic luxury vehicles. They said those vehicles are much more rugged to navigate the roads to their various communities.
Villages.
And so what are you supposed to be doing as senators? They're not supposed to draw the attention of the authorities to the bad roads, even if they are not the ones directly in charge of fixing the roads. So you're not going to be doing anything about fixing the roads. The ordinary masses that cannot afford those kind of vehicles can go to blazes. So I guess this time around, because they do not want to navigate those bad roads, and they don't want to fall prey to the predators on our roads, talking about the bandits and the terrorists. So, of course, they will be listening to the aviation workers. Okay, and still talking about strike. ASU threatens strike over haphazard implementation of 2025 Federal Government of Nigeria. ASU agreement gives 21 universities 14-day ultimatum. Okay,
but I had never heard about the 2025 agreement. I knew about 2020, I think 2029. No, not 2029, 2009.
Is that particular agreement that was reworked upon, and they came to some kind of agreement? Initially, if you remember, that the current minister was initially denied that there was no such agreement. Later he recanted. So the academic staff union of universities has directed 21 universities to commence processes for industrial action over the alleged failure of the federal government and state governments to fully implement the 2025 FGN ASU agreement. National Executive Council (NEC) of ASU, at its meeting held at the University of Abuja between August 8 and 9, directed the affected branches to issue a 14-day ultimatum to their respective governments to address outstanding issues or face industrial action. The developments came as ASU chapters at Imo State University and Nasarawa State University, KEFI, declared total and indefinite strikes, shutting down academic activities at the institution.
But was it not a 2009 agreement that was being asked to be reviewed by the ASU?
That has been done and an agreement has been reached. That is why it is now 2025 FGN ASU agreement.
All right, 2025, yes, 2025. All right.
And that's why some universities are stalling on them implementing that agreement now.
Yes. Still talking about that Osun statement. Actually, the police have summoned the Osun senator over the killing comment. Yes, just
okay. The senator has been summoned.
Summoned, yes, by the police.
Well, due process, due and proper. It should be made to explain himself. At 10 police officers, 17 bandits killed in Zamfara Kebbi clash. 10 police officers. That is a lot to lose. Limbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. They call it Zamfara Kebbi clash. The Nigeria Police Force has confirmed the death of 10 of its personnel during an encounter with a heavily armed group of suspected bandits. Now, the incident occurred around the Rafin Makuku axis of Sakaba local government area of Kebbi State. The Force Public Relations Officer, FPRO, CSP Ani Inedu, stated this in a statement in Benin, Kebbi on Tuesday. Inedu said at about 9:25 a.m. on Monday, police operatives intercepted and engaged the suspected bandits moving between Zamfara and Kebbi states. At least 17 suspected bandits were neutralized, while 4 motorcycles belonging to the attackers were destroyed. Tragically, 10 police personnel lost their lives in the encounter, while 2 others sustained injuries and are receiving medical attention. Additionally, 2 civilians also lost their lives during the engagement, he said. Well, our thoughts with the families of the bereaved police officers who died, ensuring that we could all sleep with our 2 eyes closed.
And yes, well, Tola, another step is being taken by the federal government, talking about the movement of cattle by herders, which always culminates into, clashes with farmers. They drive their cattle across farms and the farms are being destroyed. Now, the federal government has intensified efforts to end recurring clashes between farmers and herders. It plans to rehabilitate grazing reserves and establish modern ranching settlements in 6 areas identified as major conflict flashpoints. Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Maiha identified Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kaduna and Adamawa states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, as priority areas for the intervention because of their history of farmers-herders conflicts. He spoke with reporters after briefing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the State House, Abuja, on the ministry's activities and implementation of the National Ranching Policy. Farmer-herder conflict has become a major source of insecurity in Nigeria, particularly across the Middle Belt and Northwest.
Well, it will continue to be a source for concern as long as the solutions to farmers' others crisis is always aimed at pleasing the others. It's always one-handed. It's always one-sided. It's always aimed at satisfying and pacifying the others instead of also considering the farmers who are the very direct victims of these farmers' others crisis. And as for that minister, I don't know how much has he done thus far in solving this problem of farmers others conflicts across the country. And the ranching option, of course, the host community, the government is just said that it's going to force ranching down the throats of the people of the proposed host communities without for once ever considering whether they are comfortable with it or not. Many communities are not comfortable because they do not trust the herders. Many of them have proven that they are cutthroats and killers, and that is the bitter truth. So of course you have to first of all come to some agreement with the host communities. There have to be terms and conditions, and those terms and conditions must at least about 70 to 75% dictated by the host communities. They are the ones hosting you. We cannot go to wherever the others come from and begin to do whatever we like. So until the government gets its acts right, that this problem should not be tilted towards satisfying the others alone, but also the farmers and the host communities that have had their farmlands ravaged, that have had their people killed, their wives raped, their children abducted, until they are able to do this and weed out the chaff from the wheat. I mean, the bad guys, the bad ones, the bad eggs from the herders. Then can begin to talk about an amicable resolution to the farmers' herders crisis.
Yeah, but this ranching, system, the idea had come up during the first term of the former President Buhari in Ruga, yes. But I'm sure we were all sure then that it will not work, and it did not work.
No, but President Buhari wanted, like I said, he wanted to implement Ruga. He said he was also talking about the delineation of grazing routes, old grazing routes as far back as centuries ago. And they said it did not matter whose farm it is, that they were going to develop those grazing routes. For example, if a grazing route passed through BCOS, for instance.
Yes.
President Buhari's idea was that BCOS had to fall for the grazing route and the cows to be able to pass. So that was the kind of idea he had. And to be eating away people's crops.
Products, yes.
So, but then, like I said, it has to be both-sided if we are going to have a solution to this thing. Troops for armed others attack in Benue, CO1. As we open the phone lines, Nigeria to benefit from $100 billion investments in oil and gas. Others, that's as President Tinubu approves deep offshore investment framework to unlock $50 billion in new investments. Looks also mouth-watering, Bimbo. At the end of the day,
nothing will come out of it.
I didn't say that, Bimbo. Don't be pessimistic.
You shouldn't be pessimistic.
But I just have a little flicker of hope that maybe this time around.
070-5555-1985. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Joe Michael calling from Oluyole.
Good to have you, Mr. Joe Michael.
Yes, the issue was related to Francis and the Nigba father. I don't think politics should be do or die affair. Whether he said it or denied it or the way he made the statement or the way they call it, we should be mindful of our statement. Why should all that kill with all this and that? Let the people also decide now who they want. If it's Adeleke, if it's Oyebamiki, but it should belong to all of us. So why are we doing this? That people should be killed, should be died, should be doing like that. Politics should be do or die affair. Whoever wins, good luck to him. So we should be mindful of our statement. God bless my brothers. Have a nice talk.
All right,
thank you very much.
But the interesting thing is that the same senator, when it is convenient, might just find himself in a court party tomorrow.
Yes.
That is the way of the Nigerian politicians.
They change their mind at the twinkle of an eye. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Beman.
Good morning.
Jide from Panama.
Good to have you.
Senator Father was in PDP. He came into PDP before last year or so, before now went to APC. When he was contesting under, I think he was super senator even. When he was contesting under PDP, he never went to this extent of making threats and all that. So he's a normal typical Nigerian politician and all that. That's I don't like any political parties and any politician in Nigeria. But those ones in APC, whenever they want to take power, whenever they are in position, they want to take power in a place, they always create chaos and threat and all that. I said, my friends were fighting me that I shouldn't be doing that. I said, no, this is what I've noticed over the years. Whenever, if they are in government and another person wants to take over power, they don't make such threat, they just make their normal thing. But whenever they are in opposition, they want to take over power from a place. The threat, the chaotic situation they create is not. So, but as Senator Father was a former custom officer, a top rank custom officer, I think an assistant controller of custom. So he was a top Nigerian before he became a senator and others. He was a socialist and others. So for him to now be saying that, I don't know, even if Governor thought came and beats up some people or something, he will not come out and be saying that. So Senator Adeleke to deny you that we stop by beating up people. But we shouldn't come out as the elder statesman. He's an old man, for you to, almost 70 or over 70-year-old man, for you to be saying that kind of thing. So, but I'll leave that to the police to do that. Then on the issue of grazing, one problem we have about the elder farmers clash is federal government intervention. They should not have never put their mouth into creating a ministry for livestock and later want to create a grazing reserve in the state. It is not a federal government affair. The state should decide where its grazing reserve is, who will be there, and they give license, maybe a list of land to anybody that is interested in grazing in their state. That 10 years, 15 years, come and graze. It should be directly from the elders and from the state to the elders. They will know themselves. Not that you, the federal government, be creating in Zafarawa, in Oluyole, Benue, so that you just go and pick. And then who told you they are the only people good enough to be rearing cows? Can't other tribes rear cows too? Or is there any skill or any professionalism in rearing cows? So must it be them? So thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Well, you must admit that a particular ethnic nationality is more skilled at rearing these animals than others. It is their way of life.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Ekele Malabi from Malaka Sheboro.
Good to have you, sir.
I just want to comment on the statement credit to Adams, the APC senator, that is alleged of saying that Accord party members should be killed. What a provocative, divisive, and criminal statement from APC senator. Election that will come and it will go. The man should be arrested and be questioning. Because there is a proverb, we say, think before you leave, not live before you think. See how it's a statement has landed him in trouble now. I read you apologize to the people of Osun State. Similarly, it is written that Davido assisting Donald Trump on the impending election that is coming up on Saturday. Are we politically independent? We want to conduct just a state election. You are inviting Donald Trump. It is an insult on Nigeria that you cannot do a simple thing on our own. Have a next working day.
Well, that information, I don't know how true it is.
Bimbo, unless there is something that the Americans are very expressly interested in Osun State, they don't have time for such frivolities. To them, it is a frivolity. I mean, that's invitation by Davido. It's a frivolity. And even if it gets to Mr. Trump, it's just like an irritant. Maybe a fly singing in his ear. And he has much more important things to do, and his hands are full at the moment.
Yes.
Maybe we will still have our time in Nigeria, but definitely not about some elections that some politicians are at each other's throats to win.
And even if we have to have a president here, any president would not come. Most times they will just send observers. You understand? Just foreign observers.
He's not asking Mr. Trump to come. He's asking him to watch over the elections. That's what he will.
Yes, watch over. How will he watch over? Will he be watching from? Well, he can watch. They have satellites.
Sheko the shed.
Only Sheko Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Ayo from Ilesha.
Good to have you, Mr. Ayo.
Okay. I wish you can release your WhatsApp number. You need some video from Osun State that will buttress the fact that things are happening in Osun State. Since yesterday that statement has been made, things have been happening that are very, very pathetic. If it is possible for you to release your WhatsApp, you need some videos from Osun State. Things are happening presently now that is not palatable. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we wish you could have been a bit more specific about what exactly has been happening and the aftermath of the statement by Senator Fadamsi.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Ayila Bugu calling from Lanlate.
Good to have you, sir.
Still on Fadamsi's statement. I think there's an analogical deduction that although he has said that they should kill the Accord with food, but notwithstanding, if they kill the Accord people, who is going to vote for President Tinubu? After making man that if endorse Tinubu, that means I don't know what is happening with these senators and leaders. You use that expensive word, killed. When you say kill, you can use other words if you don't mean it. And look at what the other man said from Elisha, that there are some drastic measures that is going on, but it's not so specific. It should be specific of what is going on. I believe people's food should count. So let the people of Osun express themselves through their food. Thank you, Dr. Ilabogu from Lanlaka.
Thank you, Dr. Ilabogu.
Yes, to quickly corroborate what the man, the Baba from Militia said, I can see his story here. Yes, 2 APC members killed, woman leader hospitalized in Elisha attack. Party protest killings of 12 members in town within 24 hours.
Well, that's those are APC people. The senator was allegedly calling for the neutralization of Accord party members.
Yes, it was well. It's still yes. The video emerged on social media where Father was that belating the killings and political intimidation ahead of the poll. Yes.
Okay, was asking for the heads of Accord party members in response to the killings of APC members, alleged killing of APC members.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Finally.
Hello, good morning, Mr.
And quickly, yes, quickly.
This is about the family from Oluyole.
Good to have you, sir.
How I wish to watch the video of Senator Fadansi altering those statements yesterday. He actually said it, and I think that there's no kind of interpretation. There's literal interpretation that this is what he said and that what the Lord believes. We have 2 sets of laws in Nigeria, and that he has invited is just mere cosmetic. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
No, thank you, Mr. Abayomi Fabumi. Check your time at 7:30. We have to go. Been an interesting time on conversation, and we'll be back same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your day.
Conversation.
Ṣé wọ́n mọ tó kàn dùn gọ́vnọ̀? Èmi mọ̀.